Garten of Banban 4 is weirdly uncanny. If you thought Banban couldn't get any weirder, you'll be surprised. Because in the latest installment, they added in Choo Choo Charles. That is real? Yeah, I'm not joking. Look at Dawko's reaction.
Choo Choo Charles?
And look at these clips.
Wow. Now! You just come in here, steal what's ours, and then leave? Your greed knows no limits, only controllable for minutes.
Yo, buddy. Comes that beast?
Oh, they grow up so fast. Was terrible.
Don't laugh because it was terrible. This is literally just the beginning. And at this point, I'm just shocked at how the devs still consider this a horror game. This is nowhere near one. But in Garten of Banban 4, the story goes off the rails. Literally. And now there's different kingdoms and a war going on. Please remember that this is literally a kindergarten, because it surely doesn't feel like one anymore. But the thing is, when you watch a movie, you care about the story of the movie. But when you play a game, what do you care about? You care about the gameplay. So, how's the gameplay? Well, I could definitely say that it's surprisingly better than any of the Garten of Banban games. Just with some filler contents, with going back and forth multiple times with no need, and the really filler is just kind of the vents, and beside that, it's less filler than the third game. So, this all seems so good so far? What's wrong? Well, I don't know, maybe because it costs $10 on Steam, when Garten of Banban 2 and 3 just cost $5 each. And guess what? It's the exact same length. It's 2 hours if you have no idea what you're doing, and it's only 1 hour if you know what you're doing. For $10, that is a lot of money. So yeah, are you gonna pay $10 for a mediocre game? Yes, the voice acting improved. Yes, the gameplay was a lot better than any other games, but that does not mean that it should cost $10. Like, look at me, I'm already refunding it. Yes, I made up my mind, I am refunding it. Why? Because it's not worth $10. If it was $5, I would have kept it, trust me. So now let's go and actually talk about the experience. I did a whole entire live stream playing the game in one stream, and it's up on my channel right now if you want to see me full thoughts. And I gotta say, when playing it, I had a pretty good time. Yes, it was annoying at sometimes, nerve-wracking at sometimes. Yes, not nerve-wracking. It's literally not scary. But yes, let's go and actually talk about Garten of Banban 4 and how it's weirdly uncanny. So the game decides to start off with a really weird chase sequence with that turtle animal thing we saw in the last chapter. Also, when I was in live stream and recording, the frames decided to drop like crazy. But in this whole entire segment, you're literally running back and forth to get orange rolls, and then you have to do the puzzle at the end, which introduces you to a new puzzle, where you have to put the baby Apila bird on, and you have to stand to open up a door. It's a great, fast reaction time, but why did the game have to start with this? I definitely do like the whole puzzle ideas where you have to put a Apila bird and you stand there. I feel like that's a great way to introduce new puzzles without having any of the boring old ones, but the introduction to the game is definitely fast-paced and not what I was expecting, but not in a good way. But then, right before you grab this weird-looking new drone that probably has a lot of polygons, you get knocked out by none other than Sheriff Toadstool. And this is another interesting part of the game, because first of all, you hear some great voice acting, which I do think is pretty good. Hey,
You'll do what you're told without any questions. Understood?
Then after that, you have to go and answer some yes and no questions, and you hit yes or no about different characters that you've seen within the previous chapters, which is of course pretty interesting. Then of course my game decides to lag a whole bunch when streaming and recording this, but don't worry, it's only for the beginning. And in this whole entire point, we can actually see we entering the whole kingdom here. He decides to go and tell us and explain to us half the stuff within the kingdom, talking about the, the queen and everything really about this. So yes, this is when they bring up kingdoms, and yes, the kingdom area does look the most detailed of anything we've seen in Banban, but it's only this area, so don't get used to it. And I gotta say, it was pretty nice. The informer area was a nice little place to go back to, but this is when the thing actually mainly suffers, because this is when you have to go back and forth after getting parts. Then you talk to this weird looking kangaroo thing that looks really big. It is called Queen Bouncelia, I think that's her name. It's a weird name. So now you have to go on a train and do some puzzles, because why not? And this is when you meet a brand new character, being the Jester. It's like a whole clown. His name is pretty weird, but he looks really cool. I do love his design. His voice actor is pretty good. And in the story, had a less amusing plot than I actually thought. But look at that. It's pretty cool. And he comes up a lot in the chapter, which is pretty neat. Then you have an annoying vent sequence where you have to hold in a Apila bird, or I guess have it near you. And if you squawk, the minute you get near a bad vent, that means you have to turn around and try again within any of the 3 vents, at least like, what, 10 times before you get to the door. Then you run all the way back just to put a piece, just to run all the way back to the infirmary, to just talk to a new character, just to go walk back to get to another puzzle. It's a lot of back and forth. You hear more about the story, you talk to some more older characters. Then the weirdest thing happens when we're in this whole camping scene. This is literally when we see Choo Choo Charles, and I thought that was fake. This is the most weirdest thing I think we can ever see in a Garten of Banban game ever. This is weird, and this game is just not taken seriously anymore. It feels like they're just doing this for the jokes, the lols, the haha, buy my game. It's really just sad. Then we get to this area when you see two new characters, voiced by two YouTubers, one being Think Noodles and one being Infinite, so that is pretty cool to see. I do love his design. That's the reason why I put it on, the thumbnail for this video. Then you get to this really annoying puzzle, which is of course thought out and you need to have a few brain cells to do that. Too bad I didn't, and it took me a little bit of a while to do this. But eventually when I got it, it ended up being good. Then we go do some parkour, then we meet up with Banban, and he goes Banban mode. He starts flipping out and be like, you go on without me, take the part. Then we go on without him. Then we talk to new characters, it gets been, riled up. Even Jumbo Josh, rest in peace, he called him a gorilla. You get to this fun puzzle, which I gotta say is pretty fun, where you have to memorize the room, and in the minigame, you have to say what changed or what didn't change. In the beginning, I had no entire idea what to do, but the more you play, the more you get to understand what to do. Then you get to the weirdest part where you see a new character that is a cat and a dinosaur mixed together. It's called a Kidiosaur, I think it's called. It's literally just a cat and a T-Rex, so it's pretty cool. I gotta say, the sound effects are cool, the animation's not that good, the model looks weird, to be fully honest. It could definitely be better. It's just a cat head molded onto it, but I gotta say, yeah, that's one of the new characters, and this whole entire sequence could have been a lot better. It's just timing, it literally sucks. I kind of hated it. Then you find gems in a room where you have to collect them all. It's pretty difficult, but only because I didn't know where the last one was. Then we get locked in, out tricked by the gesture. Then literally the weirdest thing happens. He has to make her laugh, because if he makes her laugh, a little kangaroo comes out, and guess what happens? If he makes her laugh, literally it'll destroy the whole entire level that they're on if that thing comes out. And I was like, that is weird, and his job is just to make her laugh, which I was weirded out by it. And he makes the corniest joke that makes her be like, that was the worst I ever heard, and then burst out laughing with a whole beam coming out, like she just activated a beacon in Minecraft. Like, what was the point of that? Then we get on the elevator to leave, which I was hoping was going to be something more. But nope, the game ends and lets you know that they're making a 5th and 6th game, because why not? So yeah, at the end of the day, that is my playthrough. If you want to see my full playthroughs on the channel, this is how Garten of Banban's weirdly uncanny. And I gotta say here, the 4th game definitely is a step up in the right direction, but at the end of the day, they're making it a lot more confusing, adding in so much when it's supposed to be just a simple kindergarten. Then at the end of the day, I gotta say here that it would have been a good experience. I mean, it is a good experience, to be fully honest. You have fun, stuff like that. But for $10, is an absolute scam for less than 2 hours of gameplay. If you know what you're doing, it's only 1 hour. And that, yes, they have voice actors. Yes, the set's a little bit more detailed. But it does not mean you up the price by double just because they know people are going to buy it. That's the reason why I refunded it. Not because it was a bad gaming experience, because it's an absolute scam and we cannot let them get away with this. The next chapter better be a lot cheaper, and if it's the same exact price, that means they just think it's totally okay. It makes no sense to doing this, but it looks like they are stepping in the right direction. But right now, only time will tell. Let me know in the comments below what you guys do think about Garten of Banban, because I am definitely mixed on the 4th chapter. I felt like it was a fun, good, somewhat solid experience, but with a terrible price tag that just kind of ruins it everything. Because think about it, $10 for this. That's a lot. And don't come at me like, oh my gosh, I'm streaming it, doing a video on it, I'm gonna make so much money. Literally, it's probably only gonna get like 1,000 views, and what's that, like $1 or $2? It's not gonna add up, trust me. And also my time on the game also was it, but it was pretty fun and interesting. If you want to see more live streams, subscribe for that. And let me know if you want me to play the 5th and 6th game, because I am really questioning this.